Welcome to The Fuzz Buzz, the podcast that dives headfirst into the gritty and gripping world of first responders. From military heroes to our courageous police force, brave firefighters, dedicated EMS professionals, compassionate nurses, diligent correction officers, and the unsung heroes of dispatchers, we're covering it all. Get ready for a no-nonsense, no-holds-barred conversation with your hosts, bringing over 45 years of combined experience from the heart of a bustling city. Retired Police Lieutenant Jessica Taylor and her co-host, the one and only retired Motors Officer, Mike Gonzalez. These two are fearless in tackling any subject, and we mean any. From street smarts to office politics, they'll keep you on your toes, juggling your professional and personal life like a pro. Now, let's be clear, folks. There's no BS here. Jessica and Mike aren't just your average cops turned podcasters. They're sharp, witty, and edgy, with opinions that are all their own, and they certainly don't represent anyone else or their organizations. So, fasten your seatbelts, because the Fuzz Buzz is here to give you the unfiltered truth about life behind the badge and beyond. Are you ready?
Hi, it's code for 148 North St. Andrews. File heard not safe.
Then let's roll.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, folks. I'm Mike, the retired Motors Officer, and we got the Lieutenant Jessica Taylor.
Retired, or we wouldn't be talking about any of this because they would
censor us,
fire us,
demote us, kick us in the balls, something. You know.
Something, yeah. So did the ladies tell you that they dug a big giant hole the second you walked out for physical therapy today?
No, you did. I figured they'd be too busy with their first snow. You know, we had snow yesterday, or it started last night and ended today. So December 1, and we have snow on the ground.
Yeah. Yep. So they did. They took it upon themselves to dig a big giant hole. So
yeah, you get sidetracked. I stay on them because I try to nip that in the bud, but it's why we cornered off a yard for them to destroy.
I know. Okay, so today's lineup. First we have they lie to you about everything.
Sounds like the uniparty politicians.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Where is everyone? The First Amendment emergency. We have outstanding police work and a little section called "This Shit Is Funny."
Lighten the load. No deuces.
Lighten the load.
Although there might be some deuces going on this one.
Okay. So let's talk about the government. The freaking government, you guys, lies to you about everything. It is a uniparty. Yeah. Even like Marjorie Taylor Greene's up there, trying to COVID this and we need compensation and blah, 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 blah. And that dumb is holding stock in Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. They lie. Yeah. They lie about everything, all of them.
Yeah, well, they tell the lobbyists one thing as they're taking the money and telling us a different thing.
Yes,
so it's just like
they lie about everything. And if you don't listen to George Carlin's old videos, you got to listen to him. He is spot on. But the other person that was spot on was Prince. And I am under the impression that they killed him for it because he was starting to come out with the truth. Michael Jackson too. But anyways, so let's see what they said about Prince. Everything you have ever been told in America has been a lie. This is Prince talking, quote, "We live in a place now that just feels like a plantation. We're all endured servants. When I found out there were 8 presidents before George Washington, I wanted to smack somebody." Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Everybody says George Washington was the founding father and the first president. So
I don't believe anything I have ever learned in school anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so ironic. They're trying to erase history.
Yes, and that's why they're trying to erase it because they lied about it. Right?
Yeah, we don't even know about 8 other presidents.
So in a place now that feels just about like a plantation. We're all indentured servants. When I found out there were 8 presidents before George Washington, I wanted to smack somebody. I wanted to know why I was taught otherwise. Just tell me the whole story. I'll fill in the blanks, but don't tell me something that you think I'm supposed to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Tell me the damn truth. I don't care what the truth is. If it's something that I don't want to know, tough shit.
yeah.
Y'all need to know. And for everybody, including some good friends and family who sit there and go, I don't really want to get into politics. Well, because you didn't get into politics is the reason that we're here.
Well, yes and no. I mean, like they steal the election or the selection now. It's just like we've talked about. It's like,
But that'll get us to our next segment is like, where is everybody?
the politicians today don't care.
They
right?
don't care. They're not working for you.
They're at the point now. It's like, well, we've lied to you enough and we can't pull the wool over your eyes. So screw it. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. You can know the truth and nothing's changed.
Yeah.
It's
So
kind of
you really
frustrating.
have to get involved. And if you just don't believe Prince, here's the 8 presidents before George Washington. It's incredible
Yeah.
that is like, and there is so much knowledge out there that is just, they don't want you to know. So much knowledge. So we're moving on to our next segment, which is, where is everyone and what's it going to take?
Yeah. I mean, that's my big question is how bad got to get before we make a change.
Right.
And we, the people, have more power than a couple of politicians. Trump said it best. We need to drain the swamp, start over, reset,
Mhm.
because they don't work for us anymore.
No.
It's just sad.
No, we're in a bad situation. If we don't right this ship, like we as a collective,
Yeah.
minus
We, the people.
what's going on down at, in DC, we have to do it
Oh, yeah.
because they're all one uniparty. They don't care about us.
Well, I mean, like I said, back in the 70s or 80s when that generation thought the government took care of them, took care of us, that's where we kind of went wrong. We gave them too much power.
Mhm.
And between the greed and the power, it needs to be shifted back to us because they don't even work for us. They're supposed to go to our state capitals or, the DC with our concerns to work for us, but all they do is work for themselves.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a long video, and we hate doing this because it feels like it takes too much attention off of the conversation. But this is a really important video, and it's about 2.5 minutes, and I hope that you'll stay and listen.
People who run things see the rest of us as slaves. That's obvious to me. I can't imagine how it could be more obvious. It's crystal clear. They don't seek consensus. They're not interested in the public's opinion. The overlap between the list of things that people care about in this country and the list of things that Congress and the White House actually do, there's none. There's no overlap at all. And by the way, this is not my opinion. This is Gallup public opinion polling. Go look at the last 10 Gallup polls on what Americans care about and compare those to the policy priorities of your government. They're not the same. They don't care what you think. They're not interested in what you think. That's publicly available information. They're not reading it because they don't want to, because it doesn't matter to them. They're in charge, you're not. So the truth is, it's very hard to fight that. I'm not exactly sure how, but I know that it begins with the strength inside you. If you are weak, you will never prevail. And that explains their determined effort to make you weak by feeding you poisonous garbage, by trying to make you take medicine that is not at all medicine, by their insistence that you shut up and hate yourself, by their claim that your children are not your own. They have no interest in you having dignity. In fact, your dignity and strength is a threat to them. That's why they closed the gyms and kept the weed dispensaries open. That's why the churches were shut down, but the strip bars weren't. It's a determined, systematic effort to weaken the population in order to limit their resistance to what they plan for us. Obviously, oh, you're a conspiracy nut. No, I just have lived here for the last 4 years. And that just could not be more obvious. They are weak, and they are afraid of the population. And I'm sad to say the population has given them very little reason to be afraid. But they're still afraid because they know they're doing wrong. They know they're serving lies. They know nothing they do or say is justifiable, can withstand scrutiny. And on some animal level, they are terrified of the day that the average person, not some stupid talk show host, but the average person who works at some big dopey company and shuffles to work every day in some pod with a drop ceiling and fluorescent lighting, that guy is going to be like, nope, I'm not going along with it, sorry. I'm not going to DEI meetings today because I don't think you should discriminate people on the basis of their race. How's that? Because it's immoral, actually. And we've got a monument on the mall that shows that it's immoral. It's to Martin Luther King. And that was his core message. We're not going to discriminate against people on the basis of their skin color, period, for any reason. It's always wrong. This is immoral. I'm not participating. If enough people do that and things like it, this whole nonsense will... Clearly, the people who run things see the rest of us as slaves.
Right?
It's kind of like what we just preluded
Yeah,
into that. It's
exactly.
Like,
that was exactly my point.
Yeah. And go to those polls he was talking about. The people, I mean, what does everybody want right now? They want inflation to go down. They want crime to, go down, and they want the drug pandemic to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And what keeps going up? Inflation. What keeps going down? Law enforcement. What keeps going up? The drugs.
Oh, yeah. And it just
so,
goes deeper and deeper and deeper. They're infiltrating the schools. They're indoctrinating your kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
when they can weaponize the DOJ to make parents at a PTA meeting domestic terrorists because they're concerned about their kids' well-being and their future.
And this is yes, we are powerful in numbers, but because people don't want to get involved, they're just running roughshod over us.
Yeah. And, they're doing a good job of dividing. It's like,
absolutely they are.
They're trying to say it's Democrat versus, left extremists versus right extremists. Well, it's a uniparty, and they're basically
we're just looking for some common sense here, just to live our lives.
They got their, their sheepdog out there cutting us away from the pack and just making us feel like we're weak.
Yeah.
So,
yep. And they're doing a really damn good job of it. So I find it time for everybody to speak up.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you hear about the national parks?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, it's like,
I know. So we have, of course, the influx of immigrants. And now that these sanctuary cities are like, oh, we can't take any more, and so.
Yeah, I mean, who thought it'd be a great idea to bring over hundreds of thousands of immigrants doing it the wrong way?
Millions.
And, it's like, I'm all for immigration, and I'm sure the folks that did it the right way are just pissed off to all ends because now there's an open border and they're killing our cities. There's no resources. So we have this now.
Now, this Republican, or I don't know if she's Republican or not, but she is a rep from Wyoming, brought it to the Hill. Because this bill is trying to get passed where they can house now these immigrants in national parks.
Secretly, they're trying to pass
Secretly,
it.
yeah.
Yes. Another thing the media is not telling
Border
us.
crisis isn't bad enough. This administration is now seeking to convert our national parks, America's most cherished natural treasures and historical sites, into tent cities for illegal aliens. Such actions not only debase our national heritage, but blatantly violate numerous federal statutes, including those governing management and protection of our national parks, NEPA, and the Administrative Procedure Act. How bad is this latest move to convert our national parks to ungovernable tent cities? While Wyoming's effort to prevent catastrophic wildfires destroying our national forests are met with intensive scrutiny from the unelected bureaucrats in this administration, President Biden is categorically exempting the housing of thousands of individuals in our national parks from any type of environmental review.
So she goes on to talk about how, basically this administration is just doing whatever.
Yep.
And that is true. They are just doing whatever.
Like I said, they don't even care to try to.
They're not even.
Lie.
They're just not even trying to hide it.
Yeah.
It is so in your face. It is just disgusting. So they warned us, they always tell us what they're going to do. And if I think I brought it to your attention recently, just because I've been down the rabbit hole for so long, that they always tell you what they're going to do. They put it in the movies.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before. They've always give little hints of what's to come.
Yeah, they always drop you the hints of what's coming next. So they did a fictitious virus exercise back in. Why do I have balloons going on behind my head?
I don't know.
Did you see that?
I thought maybe that was like your virus going up, but then it turned into balloons. So
yeah, I don't know. How did I do that? So back in, when was this?
It wasn't too long ago. I mean, there goes your balloons again.
How am I getting balloons?
I don't know. It's happy balloons.
Okay, well, you guys, I have balloons going on, and I don't know where I got them from.
Right there underneath should tell you there.
It's funny. Okay, this came out on April 19th of 2023, this fictional exercise. for a new virus.
Well, I can't remember where it was, but it's just within the last week or two. Didn't they do some kind of a mass casualty exercise in the middle of the night, and they got busted doing it?
Oh, I don't know, but wouldn't surprise me at
I
all.
thought we were talking about that. Yeah, some law enforcement, they did like a mass casualty where, the government was involved, the law enforcement, and they tried to do it in the middle of the night, and it got recorded and talked about, and people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so, yeah,
So they do this fictional exercise, keeping in mind that they always tell you about, what's about to happen, but it was fictional. So now we have the Chinese outbreak, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
That has now made its way to Europe. And now it is in, I think, 129 cases of white spot lung, whatever, pneumonia. They're calling it now an outbreak in the States.
Yeah, what was it, Ohio or something?
Yeah. Well, you've injected everybody now so much that their immune systems are shot, is my opinion.
But still, if it's an outbreak, I mean, it's where are the numbers? They're not showing you numbers. They're just saying there is. You're supposed to
again.
take
They
their word for it.
freaking lie about everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Oh my God, I can't take it. So there's this guy on. Well, let's see what Bill Gates has to say about it first.
We need to be prepared for the next pandemic. We're not prepared for COVID-19, so we need to do better. And we need to be committed to make sure all tools get out to everyone in the world. China's expertise and resources and manufacturing capacities will help us meet those needs.
When you're talking about relying on China.
Yeah, and Bill Gates, mind you, didn't graduate from college. He's not a doctor.
Oh.
He actually got his money. He started from his mom. So the guy has no medical experience at all. And why? No, none of it.
But yet he's telling us how we should be preparing and living.
Yes.
While he's buying up massive amounts of property, land to put the farmers out of business.
And putting chemicals on our food and, getting all these like GMO mosquitoes. I mean, the guy is freaking nuts.
Yeah. Well, let's go back. I mean, he hasn't made it a secret. He thinks we need to basically curtail the population, right? He wants to depopulate the world. And how do you do that?
Eugenics. Yeah. His mom, maybe, I think it was his mom or his dad. I don't know. Somebody who's really involved in eugenics. But anyways, so this guy who has nothing to do with anything. At any time this guy speaks, listen, it's about to go down. So there's this guy.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. And Bill Gates was talking about that, just this last May. And here we are.
Yeah.
It's starting to fire up. So let's see.
Yep. So there's this guy over on TikTok who goes by the name of Everything Knowledge. And he is a critical thinker. I was born for this shit too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you finally woke up to this shit. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not taking it laying down. You're gonna have to kill me on my feet. There's just no way. This is just absolutely insane. And watching people put that diaper on their face again already is just making me want to just vomit.
Yeah. I'm not gonna make it easy for you,
No. So on the other side of the spectrum of all things lies, we have this, we're experiencing the Israel-Palestinian protests everywhere, right? And so they're taking over tree lighting ceremonies. They're shutting down, everything that they possibly can.
Well, that's the Antifa playbook, just disguised, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so this woman gets called out on it.
Palestine.
Funny, you don't look Palestinian.
From the nation to the sea,
Oh.
Palestine will be free.
From the nation to the sea.
No, from the mountains to the sea.
From the mountains to the sea.
That's what we want.
From the mountains to the sea?
Yeah.
Which mountains? You don't know, eh? You fucking idiots. Funny, you don't know Palestine.
Well, that just goes to prove the point that they're not out there because they believe in a cause. She couldn't even parrot what she was told to say. She screwed it up, right? She finally got it right, but she doesn't know why she's saying it because
she probably couldn't even point it out on a map.
Well, yeah, I mean that's from the mountains to the sea is something that even what's her name, part of the hit squad down in, gosh, what is that politician's name? With basically it's talking about exterminating Jewish people. And she doesn't even know why she said it, but somebody told her to say that, and that's what she's out there doing. She's just parroting something somebody else. She probably got paid to be out there waving that, saying that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's so dangerous. I mean, these poor Jewish people. I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a First Amendment emergency. That's kind of like the understatement of the century. I'm a firm believer. If we lose the First Amendment, we're fucked.
Oh yeah. I mean,
we're done.
Yeah.
I really believe that. So Elon Musk, and I'm not a big Elon fan. I mean, I have my doubts about him, but again, I go for the message and not the messenger. And so Elon had said something that was taken out of context, it sounds like. And so Disney was threatening, or did pull their advertisement off of Twitter. So this is Elon.
The public perception that was part of a apology tour. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You don't want them to advertise?
No. If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Hey, Bob.
I'm not the biggest Elon fan. I'm going for the message.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I have to say to all of these people that want to silence me too. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean, like
and a lot of these politicians and stuff are blackmailed. I mean, blackmailing is a real thing that really does happen.
Or blackmailed or just straight paid off to say whatever, again, to parrot somebody else's narrative, The world order is paying all these politicians to basically stymie us.
Yeah, 100%. And the people don't even know that they're enslaved.
Yeah.
And it's sad. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up, but you got to get with it. You've got to get with it. So then we had also Dana White, who Peloton was telling whoever the podcast people that they needed to take down RFK Jr.'s podcast. And RFK Jr. is a very smart man, a Democrat and a very, very smart man, anti-vaccine, very smart. And Dana's like, bullshit. You do not get to tell people what they can and cannot say.
You're in the podcast business and you have a guest and Peloton calls you. This guy, Robert Kennedy Jr. You're in the podcast business and you have a guest and Peloton calls you. This guy, Robert Kennedy Jr. is a Democrat. I don't know Robert Kennedy Jr. I've seen his videos. What about Robert Kennedy Jr. would make your pompous, arrogant ass pick up a phone,
bike riding,
and tell somebody else, you better not, like this guy's fucking Hitler, some horrible fucking human being that walks the face of the earth. He's a fucking Kennedy. He's a smart guy. He has his own beliefs and his values. His podcast has to come down. You sell stationary bikes for a fucking living. You are a fucking clown. There is something mentally fucking unstable about you that you have the balls to pick up the phone and call somebody and tell them to take another fucking guy's fucking podcast down. Really wrap your head around that. Do you know what a fucking absolute pompous, arrogant. I don't even have the rest of the words for this.
Like, let this man cook.
Yeah, he just kind of sitting there like, yeah.
It's fucking mind-boggling to me that you could be that arrogant.
See, people just coming out of the woodwork going, whoa.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if it wasn't RFK Jr. and he wasn't a brilliant man and it could be the lowest scum in the world. They have a right to have their own opinion. That's called the First Amendment.
Yes.
And
right. They want to shut him down because he is very smart and he is very intelligent, and they're threatened by it.
Well, he is a threat to their narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you got the CEO from Peloton telling somebody else that.
Yeah, sit down.
What's funny though is Dana White goes on in there. He looks over, I guess somebody who works for him says, "Hey, we have Pelotons in our UFC gyms. Gone. Get them all out. Send them all back."
And he did.
He did. That's the thing. People who it's
like Disney stock is tanking.
Oh,
I am sure Peloton stock is tanking too.
Yeah, it's just
people aren't, they're awake in that sense where they'll listen to what they can do from their computer, but they're not actively getting involved.
Yeah, just because these folks have money or they're eccentric, it's like movie stars telling us what we should be doing. It's like, who the go make a movie, entertain me. Don't tell me how I have to live my life. But for whatever reason, if they have money, people give them too much credit and actually listen to what they say. It's like, you guys don't be the sheep.
Yeah.
Be the critical thinker.
Yeah.
You got like people like The Rock, or Oprah Winfrey. And it's just like, you guys are the problem, not the solution. But yet
they are a big problem.
But people are hanging on their every words. Why? Well, shit, they're on TV. They're millionaires. They must know what they're talking about. No.
A lot of these people aren't millionaires at their own making.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Okay. So also First Amendment related, we have this sweet kid. Deadspin writer Karen Phillips.
Karen alert. Karen alert.
Went after this kid hard. In this picture, you can see that he only shows half the face paint, which would imply that he's wearing blackface, but the other side of his face is red. He's just repping his team.
Yep.
And so
then he attacked him for the native headdress.
And then he attacked him for the headdress.
Because, he's being outraged for the indigenous people who can speak for themselves.
Yeah. He's, being the victim for them. We talk about this a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as it turns out, this guy's having to eat crow, Karen, because his family's Native American.
Yeah. And I don't know why he wouldn't think the whole face paint picture wouldn't have got it. He took that one skewed picture and tried to create this, drama out of it. But he had to have known that it was going to get out that, okay, he had black and red. He wasn't just all black face. And it just. Yeah.
Well, it backfired.
Big time.
Big time. It really, really backfired. And I'm glad to see it. I wouldn't, last year, this time, I would say it probably wouldn't have backfired. The woke crowd would have come after this kid.
Oh yeah, because what was the big thing not just 2 years ago? If you speak out against the crowd, they call you a racist to silence you. Because
call me a racist, I don't care anymore.
But that was like, the woke crowd was silencing people. Now people it's overplayed. It's like, no, we're not. So
yeah, I don't even. You can say whatever you want about me. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so also in the First Amendment category, we have our stellar air marshals.
How many air marshals are on planes right now, and how many do you think there should be to get to a safe level?
Well, Carly, we're not flying right now. The only missions that we're doing are quiet skies missions, and those are missions that are following the January 2021 people. So we're either on the border for illegal immigrants, or we're following folks from January 2021. We're not doing our regular missions where we're out there looking for the bad guys. So right now on most flights, you're not going to have air marshals.
What do you mean by that? You're following January 2021 people. What does that mean?
That means our primary mission is a little group called Quiet Skies. It's a mission called Quiet Skies that we're following people that flew into the National Capital Region in January 2021. You did not have to go to the Capitol or the rally, and you've been put on a specific list that TSA now has assigned air marshals to follow these people who have not had any type of criminal investigation. They haven't committed a crime, but yet 3 years later, we're following the same individuals day in and day out.
So you're saying that air marshals are now following people that were at the Capitol on January 6th, and they're not tracking terrorists at all?
Well, they didn't even have to be at the Capitol, Carly. They could have just flown into the National Capital Region. So if anybody was there for a job interview, to visit family, we even had a gentleman that was there for a funeral. They put on this domestic terrorist list just because of their geographic location to Washington.
Wow.
What?
So first off, Sonia, who was just speaking for the air marshals, either she's my hero or she's going to get, or she's just another politician that doesn't care because they're not lying to us anymore. I mean, she was blatantly honest. I mean, if she still has a job, I'd be surprised. Or again, she's just another cog in the politician. Well, they're like, hey, we're following people from January 6th.
Welcome to the Soviet states of America.
Yeah. You know, it's like Quiet Skies. So they're not even flying. They're not even tracking, real terrorists who might be planning to hijack planes. They're too busy following a guy who flew into the DC region for a funeral.
They have, there's some podcasts I listen to where he tracks flights and specifically military flights. And these dirt box flights and these Google balloons that they're using to track us is very, very alarming. Very alarming. This is not America.
I mean, she even said, well, air marshals aren't doing their mission, which is to, fly the friendly skies and protect the people flying from terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
They're tracking January 6th people into the region, and they're on the borders. When do air marshals secure borders? It's beyond me.
I don't know. So welcome to the Soviet states, where we take down, John Thomas Jefferson statues, but we leave up Lenin.
Yep.
And so, yeah, this isn't the America I thought we had. And it's just spiraling out of control. And we need all of you to get involved. Okay, so moving on. Let's do a little police video review, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, so where is it?
Come on, Sally.
I'm sorry. This is the this is the CHP video that I wanted to be sure to get in here. And it's not that we have a problem with the officer, because we don't.
No.
This is more about the Mockingbird media talking, repeating the talking points. And who in the hell is this use of force guy? I have no idea, but take a listen.
And California Attorney General Rob Bonta is also conducting an independent review of that use of force incident. The victim has not yet been identified. I also reached out to all the members who released this call for peace to ask if there was some sort of protest or incident that sparked the call for peace, and have yet to hear back tonight. In Hollywood, Samantha Cortese, KTLA 5 News.
Epidemic Sound have advanced search filters to help you easily.
We came at the end on that one.
Okay.
They're wrapping it up.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can get to the actual shooting portion of it. Anyway, let's just describe what happened. So this guy is down on his back.
Well, first off, he was walking on the interstate. This guy, he was on the interstate walking. So the California Highway Patrol is dispatched to respond. And so the officer was trying to talk him into, the trooper was trying to talk him into coming off the, getting off the freeway. And after several attempts, it turned into a scuffle.
Pace that you're looking for. And
I think I got it through to the video. Here we go.
Dallas police released video of the tense and dangerous moment a murder suspect opened fire on members of a police
This is
task
Dallas
force.
now.
Yeah. Dang it. Well, that sucks. Okay. So anyway, so he's down on his back.
And according to the CHP press release, the man on his back, the subject, tased the officer, the trooper, the highway patrolman.
Yeah.
And that's when he disengaged and he drew the service weapon and became lethal because he tried to incapacitate him. And so, and that's where they're at right now. And we don't have enough information. There's no body cam release. There's no, the interviews, and rightly so. They should be investigating it because there was a life taken. All shots fired, uses of force are reviewed. So, but then you want to talk about the retired
LA so
County.
So here in comes this use of force expert. I mean, I can't imagine that the department would use this person as an expert. It's a deputy. He's probably late 60s, and he's going off on how this looks super bad, and basically saying that this is without saying it, saying this is unjustified.
Exactly.
And I'm sitting there going, because so the use of force guy is saying that the officer used pepper spray, and the CHP is saying no, he used taser. So which is it, right? So you've already got your facts wrong, and either or is debilitating.
Yeah. And then let's not forget, he also said that he contacted the subject with his gun in hand, and he didn't have his gun in hand.
Yeah, he didn't have his gun in his hand.
We're watching the same video as this quote unquote expert's watching, and it's like, no, he didn't actually have his gun in his hand until after he was tased, according to the press release. So
this jackass, in my opinion, is doing this officer a very big disservice. And if this guy is working for the department,
the way he is inflaming the situation, and basically, like you said, I thought the same thing. He's basically already calling it an unjustified shooting. He's not working for the department. I think he's probably working for the subject's family, the guy who shot's family or something, because you can't come off with and call all that without actually having all the information. All the facts.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I was sprayed with OC, I was down for hours. I mean, and I had to take a ferry home. I was absolutely debilitated by it.
Well, yeah.
Equally so, I am debilitated as most people with the taser.
Yeah. And as long as the taser is running and there's like that electricity running through it, it's debilitating. It's not until it stops running, that you actually can start recovering. You recover quicker from a tasing than you do from being OC sprayed, but you don't recover at all until the ride stops.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. So those were the biggest things that we had to say about that. I wish I could play it, but I don't know what happened to it. But let's move on to this stellar police work here. Can you see that? It's hard to see what's happening, but this is new. This is Seattle police officers now mounted patrols on Aurora Avenue North. And guess they're looking for crimes, drugs in the sex corridor.
Yeah, from the back of a horse.
I
don't think so.
Honestly, what's your plan?
I mean, I think their plan is bad. It's wrong. They're trying to fly the Seattle police flag to say, hey, look, we're out here. We're doing stuff. And it's just, but everybody's like, looking at it going, what the hell are you doing from the back of a horse?
It's super cringy, because what are you going to do? Like, I mean, if you were truly going to do police work, which we all know that's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But if you were truly going to do police work, what are you going to do? Get off your horse and tie it to a telephone pole and then call for another unit because you don't know how to do police work really anymore?
Or lasso them like the Western days and drag them all the way back?
I mean, yeah, what are you going to do? Really, it's just the stupidest thing ever. The horses are there for crowd control. That's what they've always been used for.
But not even now, because of
not even now.
Day and age of policing. It's like, oh, that's too aggressive. And so
right. But they were very effective during the Super Bowl parade. And they are funded by the Seattle Police Foundation, which is all on donations. So
Yeah, well, the
horses are, but the officers are paid by the department. So if you're putting these people, okay, so let's say it takes an hour to get up there and unload the horses from the stables. And then, you ride around in your dog and pony show for an hour, and then you load back up and go down to the stables. If you have 2 officers at over $60 an hour, so
and then they're going to basically milk the whole day out of it because they got to get the horses prepped, they got to feed the horses, they got to load the horses, they got to unload the horses, they got to do whatever they're going to do, then reverse that in order. That's an 8-hour day.
And this particular intersection, well, from 85th and Aurora to 145th and Aurora is just pure prostitution.
Drug use, transient, mentally ill, all that.
Really, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And it's like, that unit is nothing but a ceremonial. Hey,
look at me. Yeah.
Let's go to these, community fundraisers.
And I guess my point is you just don't have the resources right now to do that. Yeah. You're down 600 officers. I'm fairly sure and would be willing to bet that not only the officers, but the public would like to be able to have officers that could respond in a car or on a bike in a timely manner, be able to handle the damn situation.
Or respond at all.
I am fairly confident that the dog and pony show is not exactly what the citizens of Seattle need or want right now.
Yeah. I mean, what was that article we read the other day where they didn't cut the funding to the police department, but they also couldn't even reach their goal of hiring 65 officers for this year.
Yeah.
They couldn't even hire 65 officers. I mean, that's got to tell you a lot. And you're going to put horses out there and waste, basically waste officers when patrol's already so backed up and,
I mean, this isn't like one of those units like the training unit. I mean, you need the training unit, right? You got to keep your officers trained. You need people on the range. You need people in DT. This is like just
wasted resources.
Yeah, wasted resources. Come take a picture.
Yeah. I mean, even like Motors was kind of considered a dog and pony show because, a lot of the ceremonial stuff, but at least we were still out there.
You were yes,
you were serving the public.
Yes, you were engaged in law enforcement.
But I mean, you go to the mounted unit and you look at their day, they don't even engage with the public. They don't do anything police related.
And I'm not hating on the officers that work there. I mean, God bless them. They lucked out and they got there. I'm sure they're just hanging their hats low and just, waiting,
staying
under the radar. Right. But the leadership, it's the leadership's fault.
Yeah.
For doing this.
I'm not saying take away the mounted unit. I'm just saying that if you call for a dog and pony show, put them out, but don't waste resources on Aurora. I mean,
right. I mean, because here we go. This is what goes on Aurora. I mean,
yep.
This is it.
Yep.
And it's all day, every day, everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, even when I was still, this was back in 2015. When I was up there working 2017, they didn't care. It's almost like they're domesticated bears. They don't run away from they wouldn't run away from police cars. They just walk up to it.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think they,
Yeah, crime is so out of control that even a police car driving slowly by does not deter crime anymore. That's how out of control it's gotten.
No, they don't care.
When we first started working, back in the late, I started in 1999. They used to run when they saw a patrol car come around. We used to get pissed off because the bubble lights would give us away before we could get to where we needed to do police work.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like, hey, look, cops are coming. So what? Like, okay.
Yeah. I want to go back to one thing that I forgot to mention when we were talking about the First Amendment. I wanted to talk briefly about the officers that went to J6, because we're talking about the air marshals and how their mission is to anybody that was in like probably a 5-state area is now on some list, but the way the officers were treated for attending a rally in DC legally,
Mm-hmm.
exercising their First Amendment right,
Yep.
to come home to have their rights violated.
Trampled on. Thrown out the window.
Fired. They're fired.
Yeah.
They gave up their phone, or, you know, the department wanted their phones.
So they could track them basically by GPS points. And I think the best they had was, I think 2 of them mistakenly got inside of a barrier or ended up on the property because all the barriers and the fencing was taken down. They didn't go in there. They weren't like actively participating in, you know, whatever was going on there. But yeah, their phones put them inside, or I think actually there was a picture that showed them that they were in a.
But just watch this.
Yeah.
And it's free on Rumble, and you will see. But because of this, and it led to, you know, all this other stuff, the corruption runs deep, so deep. And I just want to, you know, say something about the officers, how bullshit that was. Shame on them. Absolutely. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, at a time when, you know, we're protecting people's rights to protest. I mean, we were protecting people to burn buildings, but yet these officers just went for their own First Amendment rights on their own time and dime, and they get fired over it. It's just stupid. I mean,
Yeah. So let's talk about some officers that do some great work. This trafficking, human trafficking, is a real problem. I mean, it really does happen. It happens a lot, you know, more than we think it does. Child trafficking, there's missing kids all over the place. I mean, it's real. It is really real. And these officers find this 23-year-old who was rescued in October after being held captive for 4 days in a garage, beaten by this dude named William.
Yeah. Why don't you just sit down there?
She can't see out of her eyes.
Okay.
So this is why I'm nervous. This is why I've been calling his all morning, and I don't even know if that's even the right thing to do.
You know 100%.
I know 100%.
Hands, up in your hands. Now. Good, buddy.
Okay.
Coming out or not?
You see him?
Get out here now. Come out now.
Look up.
Hey, face that way.
Just keep coming. Watch your step. Right there. You get that?
There's a female, man.
Yeah. No,
There's no one else up there?
Where do you live at here? Thompson? How far away is that?
30 minutes.
Why don't you have a seat right there on that seat?
We probably would have really yeah, probably where's she at? Okay, also?
Yeah. Why don't you just sit down there?
Lots of water.
Cool. We'll get you some stuff here.
I mean, that's horrific.
Yeah.
And sadly, that really does happen. You know, I've seen it a couple of times in my career, and I'm sure you have too.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of evil out there that just goes on underneath people's noses that they just don't even realize.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I'm sure that the dispatchers, you know, were really good at getting the officers there, and, you know, which leads me to my next video about the dispatcher. So in Palm Beach, Florida, Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, I think.
Yep.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
After 40 years, this dispatcher is retiring. And this was her send-off.
What the heck is going on? Where are they going?
I hope nothing's happening in here.
What's wrong?
Let's go see.
Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry.
It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. It's just cute, her reaction. She had no clue this was for her. She's just walking out.
25034. On behalf of the men and women of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, we would like to congratulate you on your retirement after a combined 40 years of service between the Green Acres Police Department and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. We wish you all the best in retirement. You will always be a part of the PBSO family. Congratulations, Nancy. We wish you the best.
So congratulations, Nancy.
Yeah, that was just super cute. She's just like, what the heck's going on? And then all of a sudden it dawns on her. You know, like dispatchers are part of the law enforcement family.
100%.
I mean, they don't get the hazard pay they deserve. They don't get the recognition or the, honor of being called a first responder, but they are.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I mean, they take some calls that are just brutal. I mean, they hear people kill themselves over the phone sometimes. I mean, they listen to people getting beat up and shot. I mean, they really are.
Begging for help.
Yeah. Where we at least have response time in a car, you have 3 minutes to figure out what you're going to do. When they answer that call, they have no idea what they're going to hear on the other end.
And plus,
no idea.
Plus, we're there to bring order back. And, so we're driven, mind focused of, okay, yeah, we have a victim. We're going to, put her feelings aside for the moment to get her safe. And then, where they're just, all they have are all the emotions and none of the closure.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you get a chance, be sure, you fill your dispatchers in if you have a hot call on what the final outcome was, because they do like the closure on the call.
And, thank them every now and again. Just say thank you.
Yeah. We appreciate our dispatchers for sure. Do you have any funny dispatcher stories?
No, I just got picked on a lot because of this voice. It's hard to hear on the radio, but other than that, nothing really comes to mind.
Well, I have a couple. And the first one is, so I was brand new. And I, of course, back in that day, we didn't have MDCs. Everything was MDT. So you didn't have maps. Now everything's GPS, but I don't even think we knew what GPS was back then. So you literally had to use a paper map. So an officer gets, I don't know who, because I was new, gets dispatched to a call somewhere. And it's at night. And he says, radio, I'm fucking lost. I need directions. I'm fucking lost. And somebody in command goes, I need to know which unit that is. I need to know which unit that is. And somebody else, who I'm fairly sure I do know who it is, goes, he said he fucking lost, not fucking stupid. And it was so funny because we were all just laughing like, duh, like who's going to dime him out, first of all? And he's lost, So,
yeah.
Of course, the dispatcher pulls through and gives them like the turn by turn how to get there. And that's just how amazing they are. So that's one story. But the other story is my alarm story. And if this officer ever listens to this podcast, he will know exactly who he is. Get dispatched to an alarm call where the subscriber's last name is Bush. And the subscriber means the homeowner or the company or whatever. And his last name is Bush and his first name is Harry. And this officer was able to get the dispatcher, who was trying so hard not to have to say it, got her to say Harry Bush on the radio. And it was so funny. And that dispatcher will know who they are too.
That's how juvenile we can be at times also.
Yeah, totally juvenile sometimes. And to wrap up our this episode, you just always have to go out with just shits and giggles, just funny shit. So I really like the actor James Woods. I just think he's just amazing. But anyway, this is from his Twitter feed.
Well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast, and she said, hey, something wrong, it's popping. I said, what? what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire. Not today.
So James was talking about, what did he say?
Well, I was on the phone cooking me and my
And he would be her first subscriber. And for sure, I mean, that I laughed so freaking hard.
Oh, yeah.
But I laughed equally as hard at this clown.
But why do you think it is that when you say the economy is improving and President Biden says the economy is improving, that a majority of Americans outside of this building are not buying it?
All right, thanks everybody, except Peter Ducey.
But
on her side.
Yeah, he is. And thank God.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's asking the tough questions where everybody else is just, I don't want to lose my credentials.
Yeah, the softball questions. Yeah. And he's out there just hitting them hard. And I love Peter Ducey.
Again, the economy is improving, not from where I'm sitting.
Not from where I'm sitting either.
Like I said, they're just straight up lying.
So going back to the horses, though, this is the one scenario where you would use a horse for sure.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you would absolutely, nobody would ever go to a wedding and not bring their horse, right?
Right. Be better if it was a unicorn, but hey, we can't all have it.
Yeah. I mean, this is just the appropriate use of horse.
Plop, plop, plop.
What's her laugh?
Oh, yeah. And the snort.
And the snort. Oh, my God. Yeah. So funny. It is so funny. So again, please, 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 please watch this show. Like and subscribe on our YouTube and Rumble. If you don't mind, we're not going to be on YouTube all that much longer. I doubt. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because
somebody
we
are.
We're on, it's a First Amendment issue. And if not, you can always find us on Rumble.
Yep.
We're there too. So thanks you guys for hanging in there today. And we will see you next Tuesday.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Fuzz Buzz Podcast. If you're enjoying what you've heard today, please feel free to rate, subscribe, or leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Fuzz Buzz. Y'all be good out there.